I actually like the feature where you could change your avatars because it made the platform.
The feature I like most about Mantalks Guide is the accessibility of answering questions at your own pace.
I actually like the feature where you could change your avatars because it made the platform more engaging and fun, and it motivated me to want to learn more.
The scheduling of the classes, because it's very convenient for me and I would have free time to attend the classes. There are class recordings because if there were any issues or you weren't able to attend the classes, you could rewatch it and get the information in still.
I like the test the most because it was fun to work out what the answers were, and it was challenging for me to think what the correct answer would have been.
They had the 90s club in the portal, and because I'm competitive, I like to be in the 90s club and always have an average that's in the 90s. And so it motivated me to try harder to get into a higher grade.
My name is Aisha Campbell, and I heard about Mantalks Guide from a friend of mine who had enrolled her kids with Mantalks before it was actually an online program, and had great things to say about the program.
My name is Raquel Wedderburn. I heard about Mantalks Guide from a past parent.
My name is Marie Reed. I found out about Mantalks Guide through a friend of mine who is a teacher.
My name is Peter Gay, and I heard about the program from a parent who was in the program previously.
I'm Suzette Downey. I heard about Mantalks Guide through friends and other family members.
Mantalks Guide was the ideal complementary program to support what Kyla was doing at her prep school at the time, Creative Kids Learning Academy. The content was solid, the platform was interactive, and it really helped her to approach this in a disciplined way and to achieve the results that she wanted.
What I like most about the Mantalks programs are that it allows the students to practice a lot of materials to practice at their own pace. The lessons were very clear. The teachers were very articulate in explaining what the items were and the subject matters were. And they also helped them to work on whatever gaps were identified.
Mantalks Guide helped Jada improve a lot in terms of being more disciplined, being more organized, and being ready. To me, Mantalks Guide for Jada was like set it and forget it. At first, I was hesitant, but then it really helped me a lot. It saves me a lot. The time that I don't have to spend with my daughter, Mantalks Guide is there doing it for me.
It particularly helped with their confidence level. There's just a wide range of questions that you really do feel prepared.
I liked how they set up the program. It was interactive. The teachers were exciting. The kids had the opportunity to really ask questions, to learn. And of course, I like the 90s club because in my family, we're competitive. So we always strive for the best. And so getting into that 90s club was something that we always wanted to do across all of the subject areas. So it was really a great way to motivate the kids and to motivate myself and my husband to help them to get there.
The consistency of the programs, and it was very engaging. The material was really well thought through as well. And there were exams on the side. It was just a host of information that was just supportive for what she was doing at the time.
Kyla's achievement of becoming the top girl in Jamaica, which is an amazing achievement, was definitely as a result of hard work on the part of Mantalks Guide and their team, her school, the parent, and most importantly, Kyla herself. Mantalks Guide provided a platform that really helped to support her in achieving this goal and this dream that she had for herself. My biggest advice is just start early and be consistent.
If you're looking for preparations for your student and you want them to go to one of their choices, first or second choices, I would definitely encourage you to explore Mantalk Guide. The teachers are awesome. The lesson plans are great. There's so much material for the student to learn, to practice at their own time. Even as a parent, you're also learning some stuff that you missed in your school years.
I would say to the parents, give it a try, because I didn't know in what way Jada would get help. But then I said, if it wasn't working, I would stop her. And I didn't really have to stop her. She went all the way to the end. Mantalk's Guide is there to reinforce a lot of concepts. And if there's anything missing from school, it will fill the gap. Many times Jada was ahead because she's on Mantalk's Guide. So when she goes to her regular classes, she would have already been exposed to the material. So I give it a thumbs up because Mantalk's did it for me.
Seeking supplemental help is necessary. I mean, PEP in itself, it can be quite stressful, and just having a supplementary program, it can only do good, especially one that gives it comes very close to the actual exam.
Well, what I would say to parents who are looking for PEP solutions is to engage with Mantalks. It is an excellent program. What I love about it is it's consistent. Programs are always ready, it's timely, and the information is in depth. So it's an excellent program.
My name is Kyla Campbell, and I'm currently attending Campion College.
My name is Alexander Downey, and I currently go to Wolmer's Boys School.
My name is Kayla Brown, and I currently attend St. Cyprian and Paul Prep School.
The feature I like most about Mantalk's Guide is the accessibility of answering questions at your own pace.
I actually like the feature where you could change your avatars because it made the platform more engaging and fun, and it motivated me to want to learn more. They had the 90s Club in the portal, and because I'm competitive, I like to be in the 90s Club and always have an average that's in the 90s. And so it motivated me to try harder to get into a higher grade.
Accessibility to notes and other material.
I found it easy logging into the portal.
The lessons were very detailed, and going through them over and over again really made it stick in my brain. And I find it very interesting to look at to read the examples and the diagrams that they provided.
The teachers were kind, they were helpful, they gave you further understanding of the topic and or lesson.
I liked that the teachers allowed us to ask questions in the chat, because that way, if we didn't understand anything, they would explain it in very much detail and you'd be able to understand it.
I liked that the teachers were very interactive. If I didn't understand the topic, I could ask the teachers and they would go over it, and all the questions I would ask would be answered. My name is Jada Wedderburn, and I attend the Immaculate Conception High School.
My name is Drew Reed, and I attend Campion College.
My name is Lisanne Brown, and I attend Arden High School.
Out of the many features of the program, my three favorites are the scheduling of the classes, because it's very convenient for me and I would have free time to attend the classes. I like that there's a 90s Club features because it's something that I look forward to and it shows off my achievements. And lastly, I like that there are class recordings, because if there were any issues or you weren't able to attend the classes, you could rewatch it and get the information in still.
I liked those classes that were recorded, and so you can go back to them if you didn't understand anything. And I liked the tests because they included everything that you would get in a lesson.
I like the test the most because it was fun to work out what the answers were, and it was challenging for me to think what the correct answer would have been.
The teachers were very helpful.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I see we have 38 persons here today, which the numbers are climbing. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of our grade 5 orientation. My name is Jillian Jackson. I'm the administrator for ManTalks Guide, and I'll be taking you through our orientation presentation today. I have with me the entire team. They're online, so I'll introduce them in a little bit. But first and foremost, I want again to thank you for joining us to orientation for grade 5 2023. If you have any questions, if you want to unmute and ask a question, just use the raise hand feature and I will be able to see, and you can unmute and ask your question. I'll have to unmute you. That we're using Zoom webinar. For those who are not familiar with Zoom webinar, the host will have to unmute you if you would like to speak. I welcome all the questions. Yes, it's okay, Ryan, that's fine. I welcome all the questions. I welcome all the comments. I welcome all the concerns. I want you to share with me as much as possible throughout the session as we go through learning more about what ManTalks Guide and grade 5 is expected to be about in 2023. All right, so I hope you're seeing my screen. You can give me a thumbs up if you're seeing it. This presentation is about transitioning to e-learning the ManTalks Guide way. Again, we'll be going through an intro to ManTalks Guide, and Mrs. Mantalk will take you through what is expected of grade 5. We'll go through some tips on adapting to online learning, some expectations of parents and students, and then a few housekeeping matters at the end. So let's start with our introduction to ManTalks Guide. I have my team online. I will ask them to share their video if they can and unmute if they can so everyone can see them. First and foremost, ManTalks Guide is the brainchild of Mrs. Yulie Mantalk, who has had a plethora of experience doing in-person classes preparing students for Common Entrance. Any Common Entrance persons online today? Also GSAT, as well as PEP. So she is experienced in preparing students for those high school entrance examinations, and she's been doing it for many, many years. She's been a teacher for over 30 years, and she has the experience in understanding what types of questions our students need to be practicing and preparing themselves for to excel on the PEP exams. So I'm going to hand over to her. She's an award-winning teacher, champion math coach, published author and editor. I'm going to hand over to her to tell you a little bit more about herself and about the grade 5 ManTalks Guide program. So Mrs. Mantalk, over to you. All right, one moment, please. All right, Mrs. Mantok is going to share with us in just a minute. Are you guys hearing me well? All right, I see a hand up. All right, so you're hearing me, but we're not hearing Mrs. Mantok yet. Okay, she'll be hearing her now. Hearing you now. No. Right, trying to connect Mrs. Mantok's audio. Oh, great.
Okay, grade 5. Sorry about that. Technicians are at work, so I leave them to that. So welcome to the program. Happy to have you. I know many of you were on the grade 4 program with Ms. Jackson and Ms. Weatherburn. So this term you are coming on to grade 5 program. And you will be on a Saturday morning now from 10:30 to 1:30. Time is less, so we have to use this time to cram in more. I just want to explain something to you about the grade 5 program. As you know, our program is a curriculum-based program. So our lessons are based on the national standard curriculum. And the whole idea of the program is to support you, so you get some extra help in preparing yourself ready, preparing yourself to do whatever the curriculum asks. So in our program, the lessons and the activities that we do are designed to develop the skills that you need to acquire the knowledge for the exam that you are going to do. And you know, in grade 5, you have 4 exams. You have in performance tasks, you have mathematics, language arts, science, and social studies. But I also like to do some ability with you to get you ready from grade 5 for grade 6 ability exam. So we teach the lessons, and then we post the activities for you to do during the week. So in grade 5, you'll get anywhere from about 3 to up to 6 activities during the week. It will depend on the topic, depending on what we are teaching. And of course, we have the activities. The activities, they are supposed to be as reinforcement for what we have done for you. And then after, you will have your assessment, and we have midterm assessment, end of term assessment, and sometimes unit tests. And what do I mean by unit test is that, you know, like we do a subject, we do, and we have a topic in that subject. Maybe that topic will have about 4 or 5 different things that you have to learn about it. So sometimes you'll get a unit test. Now the performance tasks, we also do the performance tasks in class. So we do the performance tasks to give you an idea of how to interpret the task and how to answer it. And then some of the tasks, you know, in the performance tasks, you have like task 1, task 2. So some of them you have a written activity to do afterwards, and this will be posted for you to do. So I basically will be focusing on the maths, the social studies, and the language art. And Miss Mantalk, who you'll be hearing from, she'll be focusing on the science. So every week we will have some mathematics and language arts, but this the social studies and the science, we alternate them. So science this week, social studies next week. All right. Now remember, the purpose of the class is to strengthen your knowledge and to improve your reasoning ability so that you are better able to do your exam. So and for you to get the maximum benefit now from grade 5, you have to attend all the classes. If you can't attend them, we ask you that you go over the recorded class. You have to do all the activities. And you do your written assignment, the part of the performance task that is always written. So if you do all of that, by the time you are finished with the class, you should be able to maximize on your ability and get your best or your highest mark in your performance task. So it should be a fun experience, especially those of you who enjoy learning. And later on, Miss Jackson will talk to you more about the 90s Club and the different things that you have to get, right? So we are going to have a good time together this term. So Miss Jackson is going to introduce somebody else who will be telling you more about what we have to offer. Okay.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Mantalk. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now I'd like to introduce you to Miss Mantalk. She will be your science teacher. So Miss Mantalk, if you can unmute and share and talk to the students so that they can get to know you and tell them a little bit about yourself, I would appreciate. All right, let me spotlight you. All right, go ahead, Miss Mantalk. You're on mute, Miss Mantalk. I'm not hearing unless it's me. Is everyone else hearing? No, what's going on? Hearing, okay, not hearing her. All right, so Miss Mantalk, I don't know what's happening today with the audio. All right, she's coming in here. Go ahead, come.
Good morning, everyone. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So hi, I am Miss Mantalk. So I will be the science teacher for grade 5. So we will go through all the topics in grade 5. So we'll have the live class as well as I'll post activities for you to do. Since grade 5, can we turn the video back to where Miss Mantalk is? I think I'm not being spotlighted.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. What happened to your video? So turn off the video.
It was on the other one.
Okay. Ready. Okay, let me turn this. All right, yeah.
All right, sorry guys, so you're seeing me now. Yes, so as I was saying, I'm Miss Mantalk and I will be doing science with you throughout the grade 5 term. So we will have live class with me. As Mrs. Mantalk said, it will be every other Saturday with the science, and we will post the lesson as well as we'll have worksheets. Since for grade 5, you have to do performance task for science, which involves writing activities. We'll post that as well. And I'm just asking that you do the activities as much as possible, because the more you do the activities, the better you'll become. All right, guys. So you'll hear more from me as we get into grade 5 starting next weekend. So welcome to the program. Stick it out to go through grade 5 to grade 6, and I'm sure you will all do well. I'll hand over back to Miss Jackson.
Right. Thank you so much, Miss Mantalk, Mrs. Mantalk. Thank you so much, audience, for your feedback and your patience in our little technical snafus. So I will continue the presentation, but I'll ask our other panelists, our other team members, Mr. Mantalk now. I'll ask him to unmute. You'll get to know Mr. Mantalk probably more towards September, October. He will help you with some math. So Mr. Mantalk, I'll let you tell them. Go ahead.
All right. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Everybody hearing me?
Yep.
All right. So I am Mr. Mantalk. I am the developer for the Mantalk's Guide site, as well as I will be teaching you guys math as well, an extra math class, a tutorial type class where we go through problems and work them out together. And that is on a Tuesday, right? That's on a Tuesday, but we'll start in September, right? So on Tuesdays, you have an extra class, 5 to 6, where you're allowed to unmute. You can ask me any questions in terms of any problems I'm with math. And we'll have some fun on Tuesdays, go through the questions, pretty much reinforcing what Mrs. Mantalk taught by doing the worksheets with you live online, all right? So looking forward to meeting everybody. I would have seen some of your names from grade 4, so we're already familiar with some of the names. So just thank you again for trusting Mantalk's Guide with your education, and we hope that we will do our best to meet your needs.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mantalk. We also have with us a very important member of our team, Miss Lewis. She is the one that will send out all of your receipts and stuff when you guys make your payments. So thank you, Miss Lewis, for joining us. I don't know if you can unmute. We have also our administrative assistant, Chanel Holmes. You speak with her mostly when you're talking to us on WhatsApp. She's the one that you're primarily corresponding with. So Miss Holmes, if you can open your video and share and say hello so they know who they're talking to when they send those WhatsApp messages that something is not working or something, or a payment has been made. You're speaking with Miss Holmes. She's here as well. Has Mantalk's Guide somewhere here. Oh, there she is. That's Miss Holmes. She's our admin assistant. Go ahead.
Okay, I am Miss Holmes. Yes, you will be communicating with me mostly. If you have any issues, you can always call the WhatsApp number, or you can text. We're always available, or you can always email us.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for that, Miss Holmes. So we have a team of educators, software developers, content creators, and administrators that deliver an experience online that is unlike any other in Jamaica. I can tell you that for sure. All right, I see a question. I see the questions in the chat. We'll definitely have a question and answer session a little bit later. If you are not available to attend the class, remember that all our classes are recorded. We want you to attend as many classes as possible and make the effort. If you can even join on your phone, which is not ideal, but if you can join to here, if you're away from your house or away from a device, we want you to tune into as many classes as possible. That math class too is very important later down in the year too. So if you can't attend, remember they're all recorded. All right, so let me see who else on the team is online. We also have our content creators, Matthew and Fiona. So they are responsible for doing the lovely presentations that you guys see in every class. Matthew and Fiona, if you can share your video for a minute or two so everyone can see you. They are our content creators responsible for doing all of the lovely presentations and lessons that you guys get to experience in our classes. So thank you guys. They're here. That's Matthew. And Fiona is here as well. All right, so that's our team who is online, but we're supported by other persons who help us in developing the lessons and in ensuring that you guys have a great online experience. So Miss Mantalk, you met, she's responsible for science as well as doing teacher graded worksheets, sorry for that typo, and worksheet review. And then Mrs. Mantalk will take you through all the other subjects: mathematics, language arts, social studies, performance task, and ability. And Mr. Mantalk, who will teach that Tuesday special math class. All right. So a little bit about, we do a survey every year that we ask our parents to give us feedback on what they love about our program, just to give you guys a taste of what you should expect for those who are not on grade 4. They loved our lessons, the material, the worksheets, the classes, the activities, the teachers, the curriculum, the content. They love a lot of things about our program. So that's what you have to look forward to. It helps you to supplement, as Mrs. Mantock says, not replace, but supplement what you're doing in school so that you can have that leading edge and be on top of your PEP preparation. So the center of what we're doing is with our website, mantalksguide.com. That's where you'll access all your work. That's where you can learn more about the program. And that's where you can, of course, attend the classes. That's where you go to attend the classes. So we sent out a Zoom link today for orientation. We'll not be sending out any more Zoom links for the rest of the year. That Zoom link for orientation will be a one-off situation because you're now going to be required to log into your portal to access all the classes. So you won't be able to access class unless you have an active subscription with Mantalks Guide. And the login button at the top is where you would log in with the username and password that we would have sent to you once you've registered. So if you haven't yet registered, most of you on here should have registered already. If you have not yet registered, you can go onto mantalksguide.com and register, and you will get a username and password. You create your username, you'll get a password, and that will give you access to the live classes as well as all the content that we have put up on the site to help prepare them. That includes lessons, worksheets, mock exams, tests, quizzes, games, everything that we think they need to be successful in their exams. This is just a snippet of what to expect throughout the year. Last year in grade 4, we'd had over 130 lessons, 130 worksheets and tests, and 140 class recordings. Grade 5, similar statistics, almost 130 lessons, 140 plus worksheets and tests, and similarly with the class recordings. With grade 6, though, we kick it up a notch because there are over 150 lessons, over 220 tests and worksheets, and 187 class recordings because we have more classes for grade 6 because they're so close to the PEP exam dates that we have to increase the contact time at that time in the program. So we're kicking it up a little bit for grade 5. But there are grade 5 typically has 3 hours of class from 10:30 to 1:30. Grade 4 had 1 more hour. So there was a little bit more time dedicated to grade 4, but Mr. Mantalk has that extra Tuesday class, so it somewhat evens out. So grade 4, well, we're in grade 5, so the class time I mentioned before is 10:30 to 1:30 p.m. 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. So similarly to the time that we're here now. If you're unable to attend, again, all the classes are recorded, and if you have any questions, you can reach out to us via WhatsApp. I see a hand up. Mr. Meeker or Miss Meeker, is your hand up? Did you have a question that you wanted to ask before I continue? No? All righty. You can always ask in the chat. We're responding in the chat as well. But if you can't bother type it and you want to ask a question, feel free to raise your hand. I'll be happy to answer you. So the online learning tools that you will need to participate in our program include, of course, your login information that will be sent to you again when you register on our website, www.mantalksguide.com. Once you register there, registration, you don't have to pay when you register. You just pay to get you register to get your login information and password, and then for you to access the classes when you make the payment. So you can register and get a taste of our program by logging in right away. You'll need an internet connection to access our classes and, of course, to access the content. A tablet, laptop, or computer. Notice the word phone is not here. It's not ideal for you to access and do the work on a phone, but you can, if you're joining just a class and you're listening in, sure, if that you have no other option, but to actually do the work, which we are encouraging you to do, that's how you'll get the best out of our program, doing the work consistently. You will need a tablet, a laptop, or a computer. We want you to install Google Chrome on that device. That's our browser for those who are unfamiliar with Google Chrome. Google Chrome is our browser similarly to Microsoft Edge, which is what comes with your computer generally if you're on a not on an Apple device. But Google Chrome gives you the best experience in our program because our site is configured to work best with Google Chrome. And then, of course, you will need your notebook to take any notes. Even though all the notes and lessons are on the site, you can commit the work to memory by writing it down. So we do encourage you to take notes, and you can go back to the website, look at the lessons and write notes as well, just to get the information cemented in the brain. If you are using a tablet, we recommend, highly recommend, not mandatory, but highly recommend a mouse and a keyboard, which you can get a Bluetooth mouse and a Bluetooth keyboard to connect to the tablet so that the student has a better ability to type and to respond to the type in the class and type and answer the questions that we posted, the lessons and the tests. So a mouse and a keyboard to get them used to using those devices too. We recommend getting it if it is a tablet that they're using. So for your login to the website, we ask that you not share your login information with anyone. The login information that we provide is just for you and your access. And if you share it with anyone, they will be able to go into your portal and do your work, and you will not get the experience and understanding that you need to get to be able to succeed in the program. So your login information belongs to you and you only. If someone else wants to log in, they can register on the website and log in, or you can help and register them for them if they're not able to do so, if for some reason they can't. So your login information belongs to you, you alone, don't share it. And if you share it and someone else gets your password and goes in and does your work and attends the class for you, you're not getting the benefit of the program. All right. So don't share your login information. To log in, you'd visit mantalksguide.com and click login at the top. I will do a demonstration shortly. Enter your username and passcode. Ensure there are no spaces, no capital letters, no dashes, no full stops. Ensure that the field is entered correctly, exactly how it was shared with you, without any spaces before or after the word. And then you'll be able to log in to join the live class. When you log in, there'll be a live class button right at the top of the portal, and that button will give you access to a Zoom link for you to join the class. So we don't send out the link, it's accessed only by clicking the live class button here. So you still need Zoom installed on whatever device you are using. So download Zoom if you don't have it already, download it now so that you can get access to it when you click the live class button that is here. So when you log into the portal, you will see your class schedule. You'll see a number of activities in the home screen, which I'll show in a minute. And then you will be able to access the schedule, which shows you what activities you're expected to complete when, right? So the schedule starts, it's in chronological order. And it will go through all of the list of all of the activities that we have done in class and that we have posted to the site, including the recordings. That's where you go to find the recordings. You're not going to find them on the home screen. You have to go to the schedule to get the recordings of the class. That's how you go back and look at what was done in class. And then we'll post the recording, then we'll post the lesson related to that recording, and then we'll post any worksheets related to that lesson. So that's generally how the website is configured. All of that can be located by clicking on the schedule. All right. And then now the lessons, we have As you saw the statistics on the number of lessons that we post, we have lessons that are designed by our content creators that have built-in activities. So when you open the lesson and you start to go through, there are activities built in for the students to complete, and they will get graded on the completion of the lessons as well as the other worksheets, etc. And I will take you through that in a minute. We have worksheets and tests also that we put up for them to do. And of course, the performance task activities, which are writing activities, we'll encourage you to write them in your notebook first and then transcribe them to the website so that you get the practice in doing the written task, because it will be written in the exam, of course, but we want to see what you wrote, so by typing it in to the portal. And then we have the 90s Club, which shows our top students. So whenever we do our tests, we'll have tests in October, in February, and December and February. And whenever we do the tests, we will look at the students that average over 90%, and all of those students will have their avatars displayed in the 90s Club, and they create their avatars when they log in, which I'll show you how to do in 1 minute. All right, so if you go to, let me go back here, let's just go to a demonstration of the website. You go to mantalksguide.com, and then you click log in at the top right, and you'll see a box come up that asks for your username and password, and it's normally saved, so if you put it in one time, you should be able to retrieve it again. You don't have to type it in each time unless you choose to do so. So once you log in once on that device, you should be able to continue logging in with that same username and password. So as I mentioned, when you log in, you will see the live class button at the top. So you'll see the date for the class, if it's today or tomorrow, and you just click on the class that is applicable. For grade 6, we have 3 classes a week, so you will see up to 3. In grade 5, we have up to 3 as well. So you can just click on the link for the class that's relative to you, and you can see, you'll see a Zoom link pop up, and the Zoom link, well, I'm on Zoom now, so it's gonna tell me it's expired, but the Zoom link will take you to where you need to be. Sorry about that. This is an old one, so it expired, but it will take you to the current Zoom link for that class. Also, you notice that underneath the live class button, when it comes back up, you will see a list of activities. So this is the main area, or the home screen. It's divided into 3 main sections, which are the activities due. And then if you scroll down, you'll see the activities that are in progress, meaning that you clicked on it or you started it and you didn't complete it. So it's going, once you click on an activity, I don't want anybody to call and say, I can't find it back. I clicked on it. It's here, but yet it's in progress because you already clicked on it and opened it. So it's no longer in the due section. It's in the in progress section. And then once you have completed the activity, it will move to the completed section. All these activities are also organized in the schedule. So it's the same activities that are in the schedule, same activities on the home screen that are in the schedule. So it's a different organization of the work that you have to do. So one is showing you by what is outstanding, and the other one is showing you chronologically what needs to be done in order of time from earliest to latest. And the schedule is, as I mentioned before, is the only place you will see the recordings of the classes. You won't see it on the home screen. You'll only see it on the schedule. And again, the schedule just gives you all the activities that they need to complete in the order that they need to be completed, right? So you'll see all of the tests, all of the recordings, all of the lessons, all of the worksheets that need to be completed. Let me show you an example of a lesson. I mentioned before that the lessons have built-in activities. So once the lesson opens and you navigate through it by going to use the next button to navigate to each slide in the lesson, and you can review the content that was, we'll go through this in class. This is exactly what Miss will teach in class. She'll explain it and give you any guidance and allow you to take any additional notes. And then once you, for those in grade 4, you're quite familiar with this, but once you get to the activities, it will ask you to enter the answers. And then once you enter the answers, it will grade it. So this is an activity where it asks you to click on the adjectives. All right, let's see if I can get it right. And then you just press submit, and hooray, I got all correct. So it will, at the end, it will save that response, and I'll get a grade at the end of the lesson. Just gonna skip through. I'll get a grade at the end, and then that grade will be saved on my portal as the grade for this lesson. All right, it says I have to complete it, so let me just click complete. All right, it's telling me that I missed out a lot of them, I got them wrong. And then we have different types of lessons, the ones that have click on it, clicking on the answer, multiple choice, drop down lists, matching. We have different types of activities in the portal for the students to do. And once they do those activities, again, they'll get a grade, and that grade will be published on their portal and will form a part of their student report. So they can do the lessons multiple times. The worksheets and quizzes, however, they can only do those once. So it says I've completed the lesson. At the end of the lesson, the complete button is at the top right. You just press complete, and because I skipped some of them, it's telling me that I didn't complete it, but my grade is here. My guessing got me a grade of 59%. And so now that activity will move to the completed section. I just completed it, and there is my grade of 59%. So you'll be able to log into your parents. You can log into your students portal at any time to see which activities have not been completed, to see which ones were completed and what the grades were. If they need to go over it again because you didn't like the grade, they can click on it and they can start it over and do it again. That's the lessons. The worksheets, however, go back to the home screen. The worksheets, however, you can only do those once. So we encourage you to do the lesson to get an understanding of the topic, and then you do the worksheets afterwards. You can only do the worksheets once, and you can only do the tests once, and you can only do the mock exams, etc., or the tests and quizzes that we put on the site. You can only do those once. So we want you to do the lesson, get an understanding, which helps you to then do the worksheets, the mock exams, the tests, the quizzes. All of those are there as well. So let me show you an example of a test. Let's go to a pronouns worksheet. So this is the test, and the worksheets have a similar structure. It will ask you if you're ready to start it, and once you click that, then it will go to the in progress section on your home screen. And the test, mostly multiple choice, fill in the blank and selections. So once you select an answer in the test, you will notice over here in the bar on the right that in the response box on the right, that the answers are populated. The answer that you selected is populated here. That's a way for you to check that, to just make sure that you've completed everything. It will populate for multiple choice, but for filling the blank, of course, it's not going to populate because the letter won't come up here, but it will indicate with 3 dashes that something actually was completed. And so going through, if I miss out some of them and I try to submit, a little pop-up will come and ask me to double check or to double check my work or confirm that I want to submit it without completing it. It says I have 3 unanswered questions. If I want to complete them, I'm going to select no. Please confirm that you'd like to submit. So anybody who tells me that they submitted by accident is because you're not reading, because we give you 2 options to confirm that you're ready to submit your worksheet, because this is graded. This is going to be your test results. It's going to come on your report. So we ask you to just confirm before you press the submit button that you are truly ready to submit and you don't want to look over again. And then once you submit the assignment, the grade will pop up and you'll see how much you got on it. And this will come now in the completed section on the portal. All right, I see I have a lot of questions in the chat, so maybe I should take a little break and get the questions answered. And then I know the co-hosts are doing a great job in the chat, but if you really have a burning question you want to ask out loud, feel free to do so. And I will take those questions now. You can use your raise hand button and I will unmute you and you can ask your question if you have any. All right, do we have a manual for using the portal? This is the manual. So we're going to record this and put it on the portal. And if you need any additional help, you can go back and watch this video and it will guide you on what to do. So that's why we have the orientation, so that you can learn how to use the portal and you can have that on your portals. You have this video on your portal so that you can watch it at any time to remember how to access the different activities. But Miss will go through in class and remind you that you must go on the portal and do your work. So Maria has a question. Go ahead, Maria.
Hi, Jillian. Can you hear me clearly?
Perfectly clear.
Good morning. All right, so I have two questions. One, in terms of the success rate of this platform, could you speak a bit about that in terms of whether first choice, second choice scholarships, what has been the success rate? And that's one. And two, I know there's a class that runs for July. So in August, I know that you will upload activities to do. Do we have to pay for that as well? Thanks.
Sure. Thank you for those very excellent questions. So we haven't had the scholarship results out for this year yet. We have a number of students. I haven't done this final statistics on it yet because we're updating it on our spreadsheet, but we have a number of students who have definitely passed for their first choice. I can't tell you that number off the top of my head, but last year a majority passed for their first or second choice. And last year, we also had 13 government scholars on our program, different government scholarships. So the ones that are posted in the newspaper from the government, we had 13 students on our program that received at least one of those scholarships. The year before this, we had the top girl in Jamaica, as well as 7 government scholars. So each year we have a track record of producing the top students in the country, as well as most persons will be successful in their top choices. Most persons. In terms of the specific number, I don't have it right now, but we've seen resounding success, and Mrs. Mantock has been seeing success for years, even before we were an online program. So thanks for that question. In regards to your second question, we will have the August activities available at a discounted cost. So yes, there is a cost. It is not the full cost. That information will be communicated a little bit later on in July.
Thank you so much. Excellent.
Most welcome. Not a problem. As if I do get the information, we'll definitely, if you follow us on social media and check the emails, we will send out information as soon as we have it on the scholarship information and the stats for this year. So we can keep abreast with our programs to get more information on that. Okay. All right, and then I see Meeker has a question. Go ahead, Meeker.
Is it Emilio?
Meeker, you have a question?
It's Emilio.
Oh, I'm seeing your name as Meeker. Go ahead.
Well, you assign assignments randomly, or do you tell us when you're going to assign them?
We assign work every week. So you're expected to go on the portal every single week and do the work once it's up there. So starting next week, when we have classes, you will see work posted every single week, all the way until exams, basically, all the way until your PEP exams. So we will send out a notification to you when work is posted, generally at the beginning of the week, but you don't even have to wait on that notification because we post work very frequently. So every week you'll see new work posted, especially right after class. So the expected schedule is that class will be held on a Saturday, the work will be up by Sunday. the work that was done in class at least, and then we'll put up additional work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. Not every day, but one of those days we'll be putting up, at least one of those days, you'll have additional work. And we send out notifications by WhatsApp and email when work is posted to the portal. So if you have a WhatsApp number and you need to receive those notifications, it's not a group. You're not going to see everybody in the program to talk to them. It's a notification, an alert, a one-way communication between us and you that work has been posted. So you can sign up for that by sending a WhatsApp message to our line 280-0002.
Okay.
Thank you for that great question. Rashima, you may go ahead as well.
Hi, sorry. Hi, good morning. So I'm a newcomer to your program. So far, I'm excited based on information I'm receiving. My daughter, though, she goes to a primary school. So my question today is, will there be any difference in teaching? I know you said it's a curriculum-based program, but being she's in the primary school, will there be any clashes or difference in teaching and learning that will probably have her confused if she signs up, if I continue with this program?
I will have Mrs. Mantock answer that question. So just hold on one moment. Let me get her to answer that question for you.
Thank you.
All right, so here she is.
Good morning again, and thank you for that question.
Good morning.
I would just like to tell you that, remember, we're sitting on national exam. So everything that is done for every single child in Jamaica. So the primary school child is not different from the prep school child. So we do not even look at school when we are teaching our students, because we are here to satisfy everybody, and everybody is an individual with his or her own uniqueness about him or her. So don't worry that your child will be learning style will be any different. And for your information, we have many primary school students on the program who do very well, getting the scholarships and everything like the prep school. So don't worry that your child is at a primary school. Okay, I remember the exam is not separated into prep school or primary exam. All right, and guess what? I used to work in a primary school.
Yeah.
Right. So as a matter of fact, I work in prep, I work in primary, I work in high, so it doesn't matter. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, man, you're most welcome. And I don't want any of the children to feel that because you're in primary, they are any less. They are just as great as everybody else, all right? And we love them all. Okay, right.
Thank you, Mrs. Manta.
You're most welcome.
Thank you for that question, Rashima. Jezreen, you had a question as well. And if you have any more, if you don't have any more questions, you can lower your hand. So yes, I can know.
You hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you well.
Okay, thank you. All right, so it's a quick question. So I've been in the grade 4. This is grade 5 for me now, but for students who, when you administer the test, they are not, performing at what we would consider to be the grade that will take us to where we need to get to. Whether it be a good grade, but it's not what we think will take us where we need to get to. Is there a remediation program in place or a plan to do that, or how do we tackle that as a team to get them to where we need to get to?
All right. Can you repeat the question for me, please, Mrs. Montague, again, to answer your question?
Yeah. So for those students who, when you administer the test, you realize that they're not getting, the grades that will get us where we need to get to, based on the PEP system. You have to get a particular grade to get in a particular school, yada yada yada. Are we going to be doing remediation programs, or how do we manage that together to get them there?
Right. So that is why we have all these extra reinforcement activities and worksheet. So when we look at what the students are doing, we have different kind of activities to reinforce. And if you remember at the beginning, we said we have this extra math tutorial where the children can get their one-on-one question to answer. When we go through it, like when they do the test and we look at, for example, the items that, for example, that the majority of those students are getting wrong, it means we have a problem. So we have to go over those lessons, we have to do extra tests, extra activities for reinforcement. So that is part of the strategy that we use. Okay. Hello?
Okay, and yeah, okay. So do you have any, and I'm asking because sometimes when we do this, we still have to do additional classes. Is there any plans in your strategy to kind of allow us to probably say to you, Mrs. Montauk, I realize that she's not doing this. Is there any way we can do? And it's still online, like additional
No,
classes.
parents are, okay. So parents, like when they have concern, they they can talk to me and tell me like the areas, and I can see what I can do for them, like with the lesson to maybe meet the needs. And then Mr. Montauk in his tutorial can do something as well. So you know, we are flexible.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
sure.
Maso.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mrs. Mantok. And I'll take one more question and then I will take, I'll continue the presentation and then we can take the rest of the questions at the end. So go ahead, Karen.
Hi, you're hearing me?
Hearing you well.
Yes, great. I'm just wondering, you had mentioned that the tests are really like multiple choice, etc. options. Who would assist us with those worded ones that we see for the performance task? Do we have
we do performance task as well. It's not just multiple choice. So earlier in the and I had shown them. I will.
I was a little late. Sorry.
Yes, go ahead, Mrs. Bantak will take.
For the performance task, we actually do the performance task lessons in class. So that's an in-class activity where they have the task. And remember, the performance task is also based on the curriculum, based on certain units. So at the end of certain units, performance tasks are written, and then those are done in class. So the only thing, and usually like, for example, task 2, say for example, in a social studies or a language arts where they have to give a solution or they have to write something to explain. I usually do like a demonstration lesson so they can to look at. But usually we do the performance task in class and answer the questions in class and do the explanation. And the thing, it is posted so the children have it there to look at afterwards, all right?
Yeah. What I wanted to find out is, so I would use your examples now and said, whatever he wrote is wrong or it's not in the right order. That is how I do it?
Remember the performance that has different sections because some part is like the answers are there and you have to choose them also. And then some section, it may ask you to explain something that is there. So nothing is wrong if I explain the same thing using this word and you explain it using other word. So it is quite straightforward because remember, you know, it's not performance task is not like say rigid. So I have to write the exact word. It's all about interpretation. Remember,
and the structure, like maybe the structure has to be, because I saw some for the grade 4 and they had to write some letter, they write some, you know, explanation as to what they're saying. So that is what I was just wondering if somebody's gonna, you know, direct the structure.
Yeah. So they are not going to give somebody 0 for an answer.
Yeah, but you want 90, not 70. That's what I was saying. You don't want a 70 structure. You want a 9900 structure.
It depends on the use of the language or fluent the children are and how they can express themselves.
Right. So that is what I was getting at.
And
to see if you guys do that.
Another thing I must tell you, when we, especially the task 2, when we give them the task to write and they answer it, we'll mark them, you know, and give them back their grades and give them the feedback where they went wrong. Or they could have done.
We send it to you. Okay.
Yes.
It's typed to, that's what I wanted to really know.
Yeah,
all right.
did that.
Cool. All right. Okay. Thank you.
So
Bye.
you're okay now. Yeah, man.
Yes, that should be
Because we
fine. Thanks.
have all the markers, you know, we have markers also. Right, for the exam.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for that question, Karen. And I will take the other questions. If you could just hold on maybe 10 more minutes, I'll just go through the rest of the presentation and then we'll have more question and answers at the end. So thank you. Just hold on a few more minutes. I appreciate the questions asked so far. So of course, we're using Zoom webinar in the classes themselves. Only the teacher can unmute the students. So the teachers will will allow them to raise their hand and unmute if they really want to ask a question, but they can ask as many questions in the chat as they would like. And we have teachers who are in the class who can respond to their question right away in the chat also while the instruction is going on for class. So students will not be able to talk to each other. They can only communicate with their teachers who are on the class instructing or responding to questions. The students are asked to raise their hand, be polite, and always ask as many questions as they can to get the full understanding. Someone is always willing to answer their question in the chat, so we encourage questions. If you didn't get to ask it in class, you can send it to Zoom and we'll get the question answered as soon as we possibly can. So only the teacher can unmute your mic, or we don't want anybody to share their screen or write on the screen. So we want proper Zoom etiquette in class so that we can have a conducive environment for learning and understanding. I'm going to go through a few keys to success, meaning how you can benefit from our program and get the maximum return on your investment in your student on ManTalks Guide. So for you to have the maximum return, it's a trifecta of a relationship between the teachers, the parents, and the students. And each of us play our role in ensuring the success of your students in their PEP exams. The parents play a super important role. The teachers play an important role. The parents are very important in this process as well. And of course, the students and the students' dedication and hard work. So students, we're asking that during class, you have a quiet environment to learn. Parents, I want you to help your student to have a schedule. One of the things that students realize being on our program is that the work can gradually increase at a pace that where they cannot complete it if they don't have the discipline and schedule time to go through the work on the portal. And the way for you to get the best benefit out of the program is to do all of the work that we have on the portal. There's no way around it. Just coming to class alone, you will not be able to get the benefit of our program. Coming to class alone does not work. You have to do the work. That's the only way that you're going to succeed on our program. And we have the statistics to show that the students who did most of the work leading up to the exams always perform better on the exam. So you must complete the worksheets and the lessons that we have posted during class time to be able to succeed on our program. For you to do that, you have to set a scheduled time. I mentioned work is always posted on a Sunday. You can set a time on a Tuesday or a Wednesday when you know that we'll put up the additional worksheets and say on Wednesday is ManTalks Day. So on Wednesday, we're going to go home and we're going to do 2 hours and make sure that we get all of the work done on ManTalks Guide. You don't have to do it all in one sitting. You could say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, half an hour each day, we're going to dedicate to doing lessons on ManTalks Guide. Parents, you have to help them set their schedule and stick to their schedule for them to be able to succeed. Join class on time. I would say join class early because sometimes there are some technical issues. So join class 5 to 10 minutes early to be able to troubleshoot any issues. And I mentioned this already, raise your hand to ask questions. Have your notebook and a bottle of water. If you're being distracted by noises around you, you can use your headphones. I repeat, do all of the lessons and worksheets that are posted and take notes when you're doing your lesson review. That's for the students. Parents know, the first things first is to pay attention to communication that is sent out. So if you have us blocked on WhatsApp and blocked on email, you're not going to get the best benefits out of the program because we will send alerts to you. When lessons are posted, we'll send information on the class schedule, if there's an additional class that they need to attend, or if we notice that they're not doing the work on the portal, we'll send out messages like that. If you don't have us on WhatsApp or email, you're not going to be able to get the feedback from us in a timely manner on how your student is performing and what they need to get done. So please add us to WhatsApp. When it's not a group, we're only sending you communication relative to the grade that you're in, and you're only getting communication from us. It's a conversation between just you and the administration of Mantalks Guide. So you're not going to get bombarded with messages from parents all over. It's a distribution list. Once you're on our list, you'll get a message from us on what's going on in your grade. Understand your child's style of learning and do what you can to support them, and you can encourage them and incentivize them to get the work done by offering little treats if you can afford it or if you can manage to. And it doesn't have to be anything tangible. You can offer them, you know, a day of watching TV if they get their work done. So reward your child so that they're inspired to continue doing the work on the portal. You should ensure your child is in a quiet environment that's conducive to learning and that they are properly equipped with what they need. And we're also asking you the login information that we send to your email. You know, we didn't send it to the child's email, we send it to the parent's email so that the parent can have access and log into the portal and check what is going on. So if you notice that you log in and you see that everything is in the due section, nothing is in the completed section, there is a problem and you need to intervene, and you have to take the responsibility as well of ensuring that your child does their work on the portal, because we can't sit where we are and force them to do the work. You're with them, so we ask you to encourage them to do the work on the portal. Okay, time is up on us, so I will just go quickly and tell you that we send out reports, that you should review those reports. A quick housekeeping. We have an email address, we have a WhatsApp line. So again, check your email regularly and sign up for the WhatsApp alerts. If you are doing a payment for your class, your student on the class, you can send it to our bank account, or you can pay in office here, or you can pay at the bank branch, in any NCB bank branch, straight into our NCP account. Our office is at 14A Central Avenue. You can come here and pay by cash or card. We have a rate for the Christmas term or a rate for 1 month. So you can pay for 1 month or you can pay for the term. So because we're in July now, you just pay for July. We'll have a break in August, as I mentioned before, but Mrs. Mantalk will put up work for you to do on the break. We won't have any class. We resume in September, bright and early. When you're sending a payment, we just ask that you make sure that the student's name is included in the payment, and you send us a confirmation of the payment with the bank it was sent to, the date it was sent, and the amount that was sent. If you are having technical issues, you can reach out to us by email or WhatsApp. If a lesson is not working, if the grade is not what you expected, just make sure that you're pressing save and you're pressing submit to get your grades coming back to you, and so that we can see that you're doing the work on the portal. That's really the end. You can contact us and let us know if you have any questions, concerns. Mantalks Guide is operated by Intellect Systems Limited. That's a company that is designed for e-learning success. So now it's time for questions and answers. We have a question by Otara. Go ahead, Otara. Oh, that's a good question, Leah. I will ask Mr. Mantalk to answer that question in a bit. Go ahead, Otara.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So we started late, perhaps about May. So we didn't get to go through a lot of the content as it relates to the science and social studies. We had to focus on math and somewhat language arts for PEP. So what would be your suggestion in terms of going forward into grade 5? Is it that for those particular subjects you'll go back? Is it that the content is something you'll go back over, or is it something that progresses where you learn new things? So I may have to probably try to access a class for 2 weeks, the grade 4 classes for 2 weeks to go over that content, or it would be fine just to continue.
All right, remember that the exam grades confined. So once you finish with grade 4, I did grade 4 content and grade 4 exam, that's it. Your focus will now be on grade 5. So once you go in grade 5, the questions will not be on grade 4 work anymore. So you don't have to go back over that. So we don't do that. So because grade 5 is strictly grade 5 work, grade 6 is strictly grade 6 work. So it's not like Farmer GSAT when they have to put in the 3 grades together. It's a single grade. So the exam is focused on the single grade. And it is easier for the student because too much information to deal with and carry it forward. All right.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yes. All right, thank you for that. And Meeker, you had another question. Your hand is still up. If anyone has any additional questions, please raise your hand.
When your work is still due, does it have an expiration date?
No.
Other than the performance task that is marked by the teacher, there is no expiration date. So the work is put up on your portal. You'll get a grade when it's completed. The only thing that we ask to complete by the due date is the performance task because those are marked by the teachers. So those have to be marked by a specific date.
Okay. Are you okay with that? Good.
Yeah. Mr. Mantok, there's a question about reports for grade 4. I will let you answer that question. All right, when he comes on, I will ask him. Okay, Maria, you had another question? Go ahead until I see Mr. Mantok.
Yes, hi again, Jillian. Right, so it's just to follow up on the question that the parent before asked. So I'm not sure, I'm not speaking for that parent, but I got the sense that they were asking maybe something to do with foundation in terms of grade 4. So even though they're moving on to grade 5, the foundation still needs to be started. So,
no, well, as I was saying, so they yeah, remember that some topics would still be done in grade 5 and 6. For example, in the math and the language, it's like you're building on them. So you wouldn't be losing anything because you still will, those topics are still in grade 5 and they are still in grade 6. So each year you are building on them. So it's not that you are losing anything. But like, for example, in social studies and science, then you go to another set of topics. But those topics are not going to be tested in grade 5. But like the maths, the language, those you are building on. So you will know that you have to do a little review or whatever before you start the topic. So that shouldn't be a problem.
Right, okay, great.
So where the aim is not to be burdening the children to go back and know that because it is not necessary. Because based on how the curriculum is set up, provision is made in the objectives that are given that you are mandatory, you are supposed to do that, okay?
Right, right. So as I said, I'm just thinking that's what the parent was trying to ascertain to make sure that the foundation is set.
Okay.
All right. We're up on time. So Liam, last question from Liam. I would ask you guys to reach out to us on WhatsApp if you have any additional questions. We're more than happy to answer you, but the time is on us. All right. So Liam, go ahead.
Good morning, Miss. I'd just like to ask a question. Liam is a new student.
Yeah.
But when the payment is received on the portal, will you see that he had access, or you will still be seeing preview access?
No, you will see the full access once your payment is received by us. If you send us a confirmation of the payment, within 24 hours, you will see that you'll have full access. You won't see preview access anymore, but you have to send us a confirmation. We won't know otherwise. All right, I hope that answers your question, and thank you everyone for joining. I am Miss Jackson again. Mrs. Mantok is here. So if you have any additional questions, we're out of time. You can ask us by WhatsApp, all right?
Yes.
All right. So thank you everyone for joining. It was a pleasure having you. So we will see you in class next week, Saturday at 10:30. So thanks everyone for joining.
Bye, Miss. Bye.
Excuse me, miss, I'm not
Currently go to Wilmer's Boys School.
My name is Kayla Brown and I currently attend St. Spring and Paul Prep School.
The feature I like most about Mantok's Guide is the accessibility of answering questions at your own pace or rate.
I actually like the feature where you could change your avatars because it made the platform more engaging and fun, and it motivated me to want to learn more. They had the 90s Club in the portal, and because I'm competitive, I like to be in the 90s Club and always have an average that's in the 90s. And so it motivated me to try harder to get into a higher grade.
Accessibility to notes and other material.
I found it easy logging into the portal.
The lessons were very detailed, and going through them over and over again really made it stick in my brain. And I find it very interesting to look at to read the examples and the diagrams that they provided.
The teachers were kind, they were helpful, they gave you further understanding of the topic and or lesson.
I liked that the teachers allowed us to ask questions in the chat, because that way if we didn't understand anything, they would explain it in very much detail and you'd be able to understand it.
I like that the teachers were very interactive. If I didn't understand a topic, I could ask the teachers and they would go over it, and all the questions I would ask would be answered.